everyone, welcome to Creative Spirits Season 2, Episode 3, where we're going to be talking unapologetically about trust, intuition, spirit, and all that is in the world of Kate, Sherrie, and the beloved souls that come across this magical podcast. Sherrie is here. We've had some internet shoppiness and some kids playing joyfully.
Yes.
But it's worth it for the view, for our YouTube.
Exactly. I'm trying to shift a little bit.
Our YouTube viewers will see the view and see how worth it is. Worth it is for the choppiness of the internet. This is magical. And there's the wind.
Oh, yeah. Look at this over here.
Amazing. And look at the kids. So free.
You might hear them today. I've tried to hide, but it's not working.
Yeah. We love hearing the kids. And actually, I think trusting in intuition and being unapologetic, which our topic is for today, I'm just going to blurt out a message that came from me from Spirit then, and hearing the kids gleefully playing is a whole episode on our inner child. And, you know, being as free as a child without those restraints, without those restrictions, without the shoulds and the shushes, that being an inner child helps us unapologetically be us as adults, like channeling that inner child. Joy?
Yes. And you know what? I think this also, because, you know, obviously the listeners don't get to listen to our pre-talk. I think if we did that, a lot of the things we were talking about beforehand would really play into this, because we talk about being unapologetic, which is why we decided to do this topic, and how we often do that. Like, I don't know, again, the YouTube videos can see that Kate has beautiful, beautiful eyes and eyebrows today. And I thought with new glasses, I was like, you're looking fabulous. You know, but you know, there is that instinct of, wait, is it too much? You know, no, it's not. It's fantastic.
No, it's too
but
much.
you do
There's
often do
too
this.
much. They're beautiful, fresh
They're
eyebrows.
never than never. But it always goes back to, wait, am I shining too bright? Am I shining too bright? Am I dimming someone else? Am I making someone else uncomfortable? And that's when you have to go, no, I'm being unapologetic. I'm going back to my inner child, that child who hasn't been told to shh, the child who hasn't been told to be quiet, the child who hasn't been told you're annoying. And I think the really important thing is, too, is the reason why we're told all these things is because right now it's really tempting to tell them to shush and be quiet.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing nothing. I mean, if you look at them, they're being absolutely
they're safe, they're playing, they're having a great time.
You know, like they're just playing nicely. But exactly, but it's inconvenient for me. You know, there's noise right now. It's very inconvenient.
But so, not for me. It totally gave me a cue for our conversation.
Fair enough. You know, like, but I think this is just it. We've been raised to put everyone else first, you know, like, because I mean, of course, as a parent, you need time alone, and you need time when your kids need to be quiet. You need to shush them. You can't teach them to be, you know, selfish savages, you know. Like, but there's other times, you know, there's certain kind of breaking that happens while doing that, and some people get shoved into a mold more than others. And I think that it's really hard as adults to break out of that. And I think that's when we have to say no, unapologetic. Going back to being the inner child and being like, what do I need? What do I want? Does it hurt anyone else? Because we're adults now. And if it doesn't, being like, then I'm showing up. And if it just hurts your feelings in the sense that I make you feel inferior, then that's your job to work on that, not mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, just so much yes to all of that, because tuning into that innocent inner child, the unmolded inner child, like that is within us all, that hasn't been beaten down or battled. Like, this default that anything can be too much. Like, I remember reading it, and I quickly described before, like, the classic, mine is like so downtrodden, the beautiful Campbell's Rise Sister Rise.
I love her.
Write the things that you feel are too much. And, you know, you start writing down the things. And then you turn the page and she says, none of it is too much. There is no such thing as too much. And when we can just trust in our intuition, and when we can just trust in ourselves, when we can believe in ourselves, which is what this season is all about, when we can really fully believe in ourselves, we can allow it all to be, and we can allow to be free of the criticism, free of the judgment, free of the fear, free of, like, you know, free to be the screaming kids in the background who are safe and having actually screaming joy. You know, that story that we that's not professional, or that's not allowed, or yes, there has to be boundaries, and yes, mama needs her mama bubble and her time.
Of course.
We encourage that, but life is messy, and this is what we're always celebrating on our calls. Life is messy. Life is not just contained to a podcast recording or an Instagram square or a social media scroll. There is life bursting outside of this world, and we're very, very, very lucky to have this medium to communicate in, to have this world to interact and connect in. But, you know, often we try to produce it in such ways that it's not the true, organic, authentic us, and it's not in true alignment of us being unapologetically us. Like, because really, if I want to say fuck, I'm going to say fuck. Everyone, we've got our headphones in. Like,
exactly.
If I want to,
I mean, they've heard it before too, so oops.
Right, exactly. Yeah, as of mine. If I wanted to put some time and effort into my new pretty eyebrows, I'm going to do that, and I'm allowed. It's okay. You know, it's so okay to care about our appearance. It's okay to take time for ourselves. It's okay to be exactly who we are. Exactly who we are. Up, down.
Well, I was even thinking this morning. Yes! Because this morning I was thinking, you know, like, I used to dye my hair this really bright red all the time. I loved it. I loved being this. And I was thinking this morning, I was like, you know, maybe I should go back. When I go back to Canada, that's what I should do. And then my instant inner creature was like, no, you know, that's when you were in your 20s. In your 20s, you could pull that hair off. You know, you're almost 40, you're going to look like a, you know, a crazy middle-aged woman. And I'm like, wait now, stop that chatter. Because I'm like, first off, what's a crazy middle-aged woman? You know what I mean? Other than a woman who's stepping into a power and is being pushed back into place by being called crazy and middle-aged and having her age thrown at her. You know, because that's a great way to control you. That's a great way to be like, whoa, no, you're trying to claim something more. Let's squish you back. Because actually, you know, at this age is when you start realizing how much power you have. You know, when I was younger, I thought I had power, but I was afraid of it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really fully claim it. You don't step in it. You're always thinking to yourself a little bit, oh, but if I push these people away, I'll be alone. And that's scary. But now at this age, I realize, but if I'm alone, I'll be happy about being alone. Oh, sweetheart.
Oh, no.
Oh, baby, now I'm going to cry. People lost the cover of my thing. Okay. There's live, not flipping out. Oh, it didn't float, did it? Anyway.
You want to pause?
It's fine. No, it's fine. This is real life messy. Do you see it? Is it floating? No, it's gone. And it's my mermaid one.
Oh, it's gone, Leah.
It's gone.
Okay, this is real life releasing right here.
Exactly. I'm like,
1 minute we're talking about dyeing our hair, the next minute it's gone overboard.
We lost the cover. Yeah. So it sank. Because, sweetheart, it's metal, and that's what happens with metal. Right? And this is also a thing with being in a boat. You quickly learn about just releasing things, because you know what? We live in a boat. Things tip. And it was just my favorite. It's also the only ones I can drink my oils out of, because everything else is plastic. It's my only metal.
See, but this is a message. You had to talk about your oils, see, and drinking them.
There you go.
Total segue. Yeah.
It's smart and sassy. I can still drink it, of course, but I can't keep it portable the way that I used to, and I can put the cover in. All right, so there's your full real life. But I think this is also the perfect way to talk about boundaries not being perfect either. You know, we talk about this whole entire thing about the boundaries and unapologetic. You need to have the boundaries there. But boundaries are also messy. And this is why we also have to keep going back and relearning the lesson and relearning the lesson. All the things we talk about is because we're learning and relearning and practicing and going deeper into them. You never get it. You never get it. You'll never get it perfect. And this whole striving for perfection is where we fall down on the job all the time. You know, like the whole thing, like, wait, if I go back and try, people think I'm trying to relive my youth by recovering my youthful hair color, you know?
I love that you brought it back to that. Yes. Just today, I said to my mum, just today, and because I know my mum will listen, just today I said to my mum, yeah, but I don't want to dye my hair. Like, just because I did this little bit on my face, I love my natural hair color. My mum's a hairdresser. She's like, yeah, great. Good for you. You do what you want. And I was like, Yeah, I will. Why am I having this conversation with my mother anyway about my appearance? Who cares? Like, it's so weird that we fall into those either in-person chats. I don't know whether to say a certain vibe or a low level or superficial, but like we have them in our minds so often, you know, like, and it's not serving anyone. It's not serving the greater planet. When we prioritize self, when we communicate what we want to do and we do it unapologetically, usually when we are tuning into the intuition we talked about last week, we can move forward and just go, yeah, there is mess. There is also moments of really, really clean and pretty as well. Like there is whatever there is going to be. And I think this is that whole, you know, I think this is what's so magic about our podcast, Sherrie, because we don't pretend to be like, let's face it, like we could have said, okay, well, in 5 years' time we'll start because the kids will be older and we'll have internet and, oh yeah, in 5 years' time this is going to be an amazing podcast. Okay, but no, whoever is listening right now, wherever you're at in your world, whether it be parenting, a creative project, starting a business, whatever it is, or returning to a mainstream work that is doing something, whatever it is.
Absolutely, yes.
There is no too much, and it is so okay. It is so okay. Something, and I think to bring trust into it too, something I've been thinking about a lot is like trusting that you're exactly where you need to be. And I talk about this in my sessions so much, but I'm always challenged to live it. Like fully trusting you're exactly where you need to be. Like all is exactly where you need to be. Oh, I got here late. I was supposed to. Oh, I was here half an hour early. This happened. I took a left. I didn't take a right. Like we're exactly where we need to be. But if we don't embrace that presence, and if we don't accept that as a truth, which actually you can accept whatever you want as your truth, that's just my internal truth, that's just how I choose to live, we aren't going to be able to move forward because we'll still be waiting for that day to come. And the day's now, the moment's now, the eyebrows, ladies and gentlemen, are now.
And I love all of that. I agree. And I also want to say one thing from the very beginning without even all the rest is so great. But we also decided not to edit out this part right here, right? We didn't say, let's stop and restart, which a lot of people would do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think this is also just it. You know what I mean? Like the messiness, the living in the now, the embracing it. And like I said, whether or not you say, like I said, it's your truth, but that's just the whole point. We encourage everyone to live their truth. The point is not that what we're saying is the absolute truth. What we're saying is the only truth is that you listen to us hopefully and go, my truth is this and I will live it. Job done. You know?
Yeah. And I have spent all winter wearing the color yellow or the color red, and red grounded, yellow truth and integrity. And I was just thinking, because we've change of seasons over here, we've come into spring, and I was just thinking, wow, I really have done so much work on being grounded in my truth. And if my truth can be other people's truth, I guess this is how you create tribes. Like this is how you find your people. But even if it can't, even if we can just accept and celebrate every human for whoever they are in their true shell, vessel form, wow, we really are making the world a better place. And, Sherrie and I are unapologetically us, but this podcast is unapologetic. We're not going to overproduce it. We're not going to go, and I instinctively was like, whoa, should we pause? But my intuition's like, no, this is what we do,
Exactly. There's a lesson in this.
I've forgotten about that already. Like, poor Sherrie, it's probably eating her up inside. She's just
I'm okay. Actually, in the end, I'm like, I can still use it. I just can't take it off the boat anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's got a nice cover so that it's formed to the point.
We'll find you a new lid.
Yeah, exactly. I just need
to internet sells everything. Yeah. There'll be a new lid.
Fair enough. Yes. And this is also very much a lesson for me too, because this I didn't use for like the first oh God, I bought this. My brother gave me a Starbucks card for my what do you call it, for Christmas. And I went out and I bought all these mermaid themes, tumblers and glasses, and I just went nuts. Like, he gave me a nice size card. Like, thank you, my baby brother. Yeah. Exactly, and it was really nice. So between the sale and nice size card, I bought myself all the mermaid themed things that I normally wouldn't buy at Starbucks. But you know what? So much of it, I was actually had it locked down below, wrapped up, because I was like, we live in a boat. It's going to break. I don't want to use it. It's going to break. And then finally, about 2 months ago, I was like, yeah, well, exactly, right? Like, this stuff happens. And then finally 2 months ago, I was like, yes, but if it's always wrapped up, it doesn't matter if it never breaks, because you never used it. You know, and that's what happens if you never start. It doesn't matter if it's perfect in your head. If it doesn't get out of your head, no one sees it. You don't get the joy from it. And so, yeah, I finally broke it out there about 2 months ago, started putting my oils in it, because again, it's the only thing I could drink the oils from. Otherwise, I've just been diffusing and wearing my oils. And finally, I'm like, no, I actually do. I want to drink them. And yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, I lost the top. And you know what? I was like, oh, I'm going to cry. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to freaking die from that. You know, and I've been enjoying it. It's okay. It's not safe with a cover on, but the cover on safe, not used, doesn't bring me anything either. So there's my lesson that I need to learn that one over and over again too.
If anything, it's going to like make sure that you drink it all, you know, none of the
Exactly.
I'm going to sit down, I'm going to drink my tumbler, I'm going to have my beautiful wild orange. This is going to be a good morning.
As I do my yoga journaling, right? Like, this is perfect.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, you're exactly where you need to be. Like, there's messages in everything. There's lessons. Sherrie just found her lesson. There's lessons in every single little thing. I was rushing around this morning, tidying the house, doing a morning tidy, and I jammed my own finger in my daughter's clothes drawer. My own finger. I jammed my own finger at 6:45 in the morning because I was putting clothes in a drawer, because the clothes had to be in the drawer. Message from Spirit, slow down. Did I slow down? No, I kept going. Then I dropped a can on my foot. A can. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to go start again and have a little mindfulness.
Exactly.
Make myself a cup of tea. Go ground my energy outside.
Is this the Band-Aid from the jamming?
The Band-Aid from the jamming. But this is the whole thing about just being unapologetically you, so that I can share with the world that I read into those messages and I tune in, and often I do have my moments of erratic, I'm feeling a bit lost, but the moment I step into me and step in and own my power as Gumboot, it's like tonight, Sherrie, I just feel like the message is we're taking the lid off. We are stepping into our power, and we're going, yeah, I'm a mum. Yeah, internet sometimes this. Yeah, I actually, have to just own that sometimes I want to look nice and that I dyed my eyebrows.
And that's okay.
Okay.
It's better than okay. It's wonderful.
It's so wonderful. And it's just like the whole gratitude to cap, not catapult, like to
catapult.
Gratitude. Using gratitude
That's
to
a great
catapult, not cap. It's the same. Don't cap ourselves. Don't go, well, I did that. That's enough. Never enough yourselves, beautiful souls. Yes, always say, I am enough in this moment, but never think that that'll do. No.
Exactly.
No, you are entitled. Deserving is a better word than entitled. You are deserving, because we don't want to be entitled. No one wants anyone to be entitled. We want to love. We want to have a broad spectrum of appreciating and valuing the beautiful souls in our worlds, but we don't want to limit who we are or live in any kind of container that is going to prevent us from sharing our creations, our heart, the true essence of our being. Yes.
I absolutely love that, because I always say, if you're worried that you're being entitled, you can almost 99.9% be guaranteed you're not.
Yes. Yes.
If you are worried about being a bad mom, then you're not being a bad mom. You know what I mean? Like, if you're thinking about these things, you're automatically means that you're not being the selfish person that you're afraid you're turning into. You're setting up boundaries. You're reinforcing those boundaries. You're becoming the person you need to be, who's strong and able to say, no, that's all good. But as soon as you start thinking, it's when you're not thinking anymore, when you're kind of like, I deserve this, I deserve this, I deserve this, without thinking it all about the other people, then now maybe you're going entitlement. But you should be always like, do I deserve this? Yes, I do. Because I do the same kind of question. You're like, yes, go claim this.
Yes. Definitely. And I think, just you are deserving, and it doesn't, it's simple and as hard. What do you say, Sherrie? It's simple as complicated as that. But
as simple as hard. It's as simple as and complicated as that. It's not me though. Still gaming again.
I know, but I heard it from you. So, I'm
like collecting all these good quotes from other people, and they're not mine.
I season 1, I quoted you the whole way through, and it was a Marilyn Monroe quote. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I heard it from Sherrie. So, see, that's just that's a good one.
I channeled one Marilyn, so
you did.
I love that one, and I think
I love that one.
Yeah, and it is a fabulous one that I try to live my life with, because sometimes when you're falling apart, and you're just like going, okay, this is really bad, and I'm being a pain for people, and then exactly. But no, if someone fell apart and needed me, I'd be there for them. If someone I loved, and no one's perfect all the time, you're going to have messy middles, and sometimes you're going to be a hot mess. You're not just going to be like a messy middle. You're going to be, like I said, heart torn out, scrunched up, stomped on, fed back to you with a spoon, and then punched so hard you puke it back out again. You're going to have those moments in your life. And then you need people around you, holding you and helping you get back up again. And if those people look at you and say, no, man, you're too much of a hot mess for me right now, well, they weren't your people.
Nope, absolutely not. Yep. And just for our listeners who don't know the quote we're referring to, if you can't love me when I'm broken, you don't deserve to love me at all. Paraphrasing Marilyn.
It was, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best.
Yeah, there you go. That's a bit better. Yeah. So I absolutely love this, because we did have a brief pre-chat where we're like, I was actually sitting at my computer with a blank screen going, Sherrie, I didn't know what to write for my newsletter this week, and now I do, because I was just sitting there trusting the blank screen, and I knew energetically as soon as Sherrie got on, we would think of something. And then, as always, our pre-chat is usually a quick like, hey, let's just press record and go. And I'm so glad we just press record and go. And what a message for everyone always, to just press record and go, because the little snippets of lessons in here, I am certain are little snippets of lessons for our listeners, or, even if it's just one other person who's motivated to do something differently, to honor their needs, to honor their creative desires, or even just to honor how they're feeling about themselves. Celebrate a new hair color.
Turn on the kettle and do a journal entry.
Drink.
Buy that box of hair dye.
Food, grade, oils, look after you and do it unapologetically, and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Spirit is supporting you. It's all exactly as it is. And I truly do believe, I believe in Spirit so wholeheartedly that this podcast wouldn't go out if it wasn't meant to. The recording wouldn't work if it wasn't meant to. And that trusting
exactly, yes.
So big. Yeah.
And it happens when it needs to. And I think that's the perfect way to end it today.
That beautiful wind. We're just blowing everyone away.
Exactly, yes. We'll do one last scan for everybody.
Scan for our viewers. Here's a scan of my eyebrows that I'm just so in love with right now.
As you should be and deserve to be.
Because I treated myself to a facial, and my eyelashes are also ready for some celebrant gigs this weekend. I'm feeling good. And Sherrie, I love you as always. It is a total honor and pleasure. And I think you need to go diving deep for that lid.
Yeah, you froze. I knew that was happening.
Yep. I think we're frozen, but I'm telling Sherrie to go diving deep for that lid, metaphorically or...
Yeah, we did freeze. I'm like, Spirit said, now it's time to end it.
And everyone, thank you as always to listen. Be sure to drop us a line if you hear it, if you connect with it in any way, and share with the world, because we are here to be heard in all of the messy, glorious, raw, beautiful, tremendous spirit-led us. So, Sherrie, I love you. Listeners, I love you. That's it.
Love it.
Goodbye, hello from us. See you next week.
Bye, everyone. Yes.